Hello, and welcome to Finder and Keeper, the podcast, a podcast for the woman who is on a journey of finding herself and keeping herself. I'm Ashley, and I'm your host.
There's a version of life that we have all imagined for ourselves, and I don't think that we realize that we're grieving it until we're in a completely different one. So today I really want to talk about what it feels like to grieve those unmet timelines, to feel like you're in a completely different life than the one that you had planned for yourself. Because you can love the life that you're living right now. You can love your life right now, and you can still be disappointed that life did not go the way that you might have written down in your journal. It didn't go the way that you planned, and that's perfectly okay because both can be true. You can be happy and you can also be disappointed at the same time. And I don't want this to be one of those episodes where you listen to it and then you turn around and you try and fix that you feel that way. No, this is a safe conversation. This is a conversation to acknowledge that you can have both of those feelings and it'd be completely fine. I think too often we associate tragedy with grief. We think that the only time that we should feel grief is if there's a loss or something tragic has happened, and sometimes you can feel grief just by things changing. Sometimes life just literally unfolds differently, and a lot of things that we might be grieving is, oh, I thought I'd be further along in my career by now. Oh, I thought I'd have kids by now. Oh, I thought I'd be married right now. These are all valid feelings that it's okay to have. And I think we don't talk about those feelings enough because it's not dramatic. It's not life altering, life changing. But just because it's not something dramatic that happened, that does not mean that we shouldn't have permission to feel those feelings, that we shouldn't have permission to grieve the life that we thought that we were going to have. Grief shouldn't only be associated with death. It can be from change. It could be from life just simply looking a lot different than you thought it would. For example, I thought I would be living in Nashville like the rest of my life. If you don't know, I used to live in Nashville, and I moved back to my hometown for safety reasons, of course. But I can still grieve the fact that I thought I was going to be in Nashville forever, and now I'm not. Just because I might be safe here does not mean that I can't be upset that what I thought I was going to be doing is not what I'm doing right now. One does not cancel out the other. But here's when it gets tricky, because there is so much pressure to be grateful for the life that you have. We hear it all the time. Be thankful that you have this. Be thankful that you have that. Be thankful that you have a roof over your head. And yes, that gratitude does matter, but it does not take away the fact that you have emotions. It does not mean that you can be dishonest with yourself about what you are feeling, about your current situation, about your current life. Yes, I can be thankful that I have all of this, and I can still be upset that I didn't get that. And for some of us who do really focus grief more so on loss, let me give you an example, okay? Someone in your family may have had cancer and they passed away. You can be happy that they do not have to go through that pain anymore. They don't have to go through everything that they had to endure to go through those cancer treatments. And you can still be sad in that same sentence because they're no longer here. There's no need to rush past that disappointment. There's no need to rush past that sadness or pretend like you're not still adjusting to the life that you have, because you are. We are. Two things can be true. You can be happy and you can be sad, all in the same setting. And allowing yourself to feel both of those feelings does not make you ungrateful. It makes you human. There's not a single person on this earth that can, there might be a single person, I don't know, there might be somebody out there, but there really is not a person out there that can say that they are only feeling one feeling at a time. And if they are, then they probably just don't understand their own emotions, because it is almost impossible to only feel one emotion at one time. So I think we need to really erase this idea that being thankful or having gratitude means that you have to be silent. No. Being grateful does not take away the complexities of being a human and having emotions. Those are things that just come with the territory, and you should be allowed to have those feelings that life did not come out the way that you want it to be. I'm grateful for the life that I have now, but I'm still sad that it didn't go as planned. But I do want to talk about how you can handle those detours and how you can handle dealing with the fact that life does not always look the way that we want it to be. Because if we really sit back and just think about it, the life that we have now has taught us things our original plans could not teach us. The person that you are now, you would have never been that if you decided to go down a different path. And I mean that in a good way. There's lessons that you've learned about resilience. There's lessons that you've learned about patience. There's lessons that you've learned about finding joy in the things that you really did not expect to find joy in. You would have never found that. You would have never became that. I think when we go through these seasons where things are just out of our hands and life just doesn't look the way we wrote it down in our journals, it really shows us different versions of ourselves that we need to see, that we need to know that we can become. Because had we not gone through those seasons, we would have never met those personalities, those different aspects of ourselves otherwise. You might have never known that you were a resilient person. You might have never known that you were a patient person. You might have never been in situations that you thought, there's no way I can find joy in this, but somehow you did. Sometimes the person, the place, the things that we thought we wanted is not who we were meant to be. And that is okay. Although the life that you have now does not look like how you wanted it to look, it might just fit you better. It might have just been the life that you really needed right now. And that doesn't mean that the life that you have planned for yourself, you will never get that. It just means that you might be on a different path right now. You might need to be getting prepared for that life. You might need to learn a little bit more. You might even be leading up to something that's way better than what you already planned for yourself. I don't think success is just about hitting those different milestones or timelines that you have written for yourself. Sometimes success really looks like becoming the person that you are really meant to be. And sometimes the road to get there just looks different than what we had written down. And so many of us talk about being behind. What is being behind? What is that? How can you be behind on a life that you don't even know what is planned ahead of you? You don't even know what you're going to be doing tomorrow. You don't even know what life looks like tomorrow. How are you behind already? How could you be behind? The word behind is just some type of social comparison. And we took that and we just ran with it. We didn't even ask no questions. We was like, okay, behind means this and we gonna stick to it. You can't be late. You can't be late in a life that you are not even in charge of. Like if we really want to have that conversation, you're not in control of the life that you're only in control of so much of your own life. So you cannot be late when you're not even the one that's actually writing your own life, your own script. The life that is meant for you requires a different version of you. It does not require the version that you might think that you need to be. It requires the version that God needs you to be. It requires the version that the universe needs you to be. Whatever you believe in, it's not in your hands. And that version of you might just be the version who you need to become to have the life that you want. And just because it does not look beautiful, it doesn't look sparkly, it doesn't look like the way you wrote it in your journal, in your diary, whatever, that does not mean that you're off track. It just means that you are on a different path to get to where you need to go. So here's what I hope you take away from this episode today. It is okay to grieve the life that you wanted. It is okay to be disappointed that it did not work out, and you can still have gratitude for the life that you have now. Both can coexist. Like I said, you can be happy and you can be sad in the same setting. And if you are in a season where you feel like life does not look like what you thought it was going to look like, you are not alone. You are not alone, babe. And I really want you to truly understand that. There are a million other people who feel exactly the way that you do. And you are not alone in those feelings, and you are not invalidated in those feelings as well. There is nothing wrong with still adjusting to the life that you have now. There is nothing wrong with missing the life that you thought you were going to have or the life that you once had. And as you move through this week, I want to leave you with a question. What version of life are you learning to let go of? What version of life are you learning to let go of? And what popped up in your head when I said that? That is what I want you to focus on. And I want you to remember that it is okay to grieve the life that you thought you were going to have. And I want you to understand that it is okay to grieve and grow at the same time. You can grieve the life that you thought you were going to have, and you can grow into the beautiful person that you're supposed to be at the same time. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me today. If this episode resonated with you, please like, share, and comment, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.